What's going on?
What happened? What happened? Your computer said no mas.
So just kick that on you, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we're good. You can
All right.
begin.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, now you and I are back here again because we had some technical difficulties last interview and we had to finish up some things. Um, of course, last time we were speaking on Black Lives Matter and the uh the games that they are playing with the Black family structure, and I wanted to address that because I didn't like it, and I know you didn't either. I had a couple of questions from there that I wanted to ask. However, I'm having a little bit of issue right here getting them up. Well, here they are. Maybe this is it. No, that's not it. Well, anyway, I did want to ask you this.
Yes.
And this is kind of related to what we're going to go into today. I think it's funny. Okay, the last time you and I spoke, we talked about the Black Lives Matter organization, its stance on the Black family, and how its message regarding such further hurt the Black community. Do you think Blacks, especially those in leadership positions, have an obligation to call out organizations who claim to be for the advancement of Blacks, but do little more than infiltrate our community to cause further damage?
Well, let's answer it like this.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they would call it out, but Black folks love attention, so why call out something that puts the spotlight on you? The Black Caucus is dead, ladies and gentlemen. And don't worry, because soon Kid Gravity is going to have a show with Miss Tiffy Television, and we're going to talk about the Black Caucus. I have a special name for them, but we're going to save that for that show. But back to what you were saying. No, they're not going to. They do have a responsibility to call it out, but they're not going to do it because they don't want to make them mad.
Mm-hmm.
And the Black Caucus has watched the NAACP get infiltrated by the white liberal for decades. They didn't say a word, and now they're controlled, I'm sure, by some white liberals, and they're not going to call it out because they know Black folk are not going to pour money into them because they don't have that much of a track record of showing that they're really helping out the Black community. So get mad at me all you want. I was just down there in y'all city.
Mm-hmm. And another thing I want to add, well, I think you're right on that one. Another thing I wanted to ask is, okay, you and I spoke briefly a little last time about the 1964 Welfare Reform Act and how that kind of hurt Black families.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I want to read some statistics to you here just to build up to the question.
Oh,
in 1960, oh yeah, in 1964, the single mother-led home rate, the Black community was 25%.
Mm-hmm.
This climbed to 55% by the 1980s as a result, the ability for the Blacks to develop economic power decreased. At the rate we're going to 75% Black homes led by poor single mothers, we aren't going to develop any kind of sustainable economic power anytime soon, if ever. Knowing this is the case, why do you think Black women...
What's that? Wait. No, don't tell me you went out again.
Did I go out?
You went out a little bit.
Okay. That's
okay. I didn't hear the last part.
Okay. Why do you think Black people, Black women in particular, need to understand that single mother-led homes have not been beneficial to the Black community? Taking everything I just said into consideration.
Why do they think that it's not beneficial?
No, why do they need to know? Because it's like this generation, if you...
Oh, because, well, they need to know because later on in life, when they're alone, they're not going to have anything to spend on. They're going to be waiting on the government to take care of them. And by then, they're going to have other things to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cool for you to be working your entire life and living off your Social Security. You should at least have something in the bank.
That's
And
true.
the rate that is going, you would think at least if the government loved us, I'm talking about all Americans,
Mm-hmm.
that they would automatically take federal withholding if you do get benefits and put that in a fund attached to your Social Security. They don't do that. Even if you took 10% and let's say a woman gets $1,200 a month, $120 every month, and you do that during her welfare queen life, she would have a nice amount of chunk. She might have a nice amount of change in a nice little fund that she can withdraw from. But it's important to tell them, because if they're sitting there screaming about we want high value men now and we want to be married and this, that, and the third, it would kind of improve your image to not be associated with the welfare queen moniker. But again, that goes back to attention, and we know that women are very vain creatures and they like attention. So again, why kill the spotlight?
I have to agree with that, but also it's for a number of, and I was actually kind of reading about this before we spoke last time. There are certain psychological stages of development that children pass through in childhood, and depending on their environment, they pass in and out of them. Let me say this: their environment can determine whether or not that child passes in and out of those phases in a healthy manner. For those of you who have studied psychology that may be listening to this, I'm sure you're familiar with the Oedipus and the Electric Complex. But for those who have not, in a nutshell, the Oedipus and the Electric Complex are childhood phases that boys and girls go through. An Oedipus complex is where a young boy from between the ages of 3 to 6 has, he over a period of years comes to learn his role in his mother's life, and as the result, he learns how to healthily. He learns he learns whether or not. Oh, okay, I'm trying to find out how to put this. By viewing what he sees, he determines his role in his mother's life as either her lover, her son, or whatever. And once he finds his role, then he in her life, then he becomes attached to his same-sex parent, i.e. his father, and then he can, learn his role and his status as a man. And then he spends, of course, the rest of his childhood, mirroring his father and learning what it means to be a man. And girls go through the Electric Complex. It's the exact same thing, but the opposite, where girls mirror their mothers once they learn the role that they play in their father's lives as his daughter, and they mirror their mothers to learn their place they learn to see themselves and what it means to be a woman. However, if you have dad that's not there, something is going to be really wrong when those kids hit those phases. You cannot have a boy that learns his role in his mother's life as the son when he's supposed to be comparing that to how she interacts with his father if his father is not there, and his father's not there because you chose to have them in this messed up situation where there's 100% there's not a guarantee that you're going to be anything to his father at all, i.e. just popping them out, the baby daddy syndrome mess that we go through, that a lot of us put ourselves in. So when kids don't phase in and out of those, they don't cycle out of those phases properly, then you have to learn that their relationships from here on out are in jeopardy of being, rather dysfunctional. That child has to learn that he or she has there's a role that they play in your life that they need to learn to see themselves as your child. And I feel like this is important because I have noticed that there are a lot of women that have some weird, odd attachments to their sons. And it's not in a way of she loves him as a mother.
You saw the video.
What video?
The little boy licked that girl's butt. You saw that video.
Yes. Yeah, I did see that. Okay, but that's what I'm talking about. That is an age where those children are learning, are they supposed to be in your life as a romantic, i.e. sexual partner, or as a child? That woman has taught her son that he she's molding him to believe that he's supposed to grow up and become her sexual partner. That's the sad thing about it. And she's continued to encourage that while she's parading around him naked. And then he's licking her, and she's laughing about it. That kind of stuff is you're messing your son up for his future relationships are already tarnished, and neither one of them know it. Either she doesn't know it or she doesn't care. But that boy, the way that he's going to view women that are not his mother, I don't know what it's going to be off, is all I can say. Then you have the Oedipus Complex, which is.
You didn't leave again, did you?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Yo, y'all West Virginia cable do not like y'all. God, dog.
I know, right? But when you have these girls that grow up without their fathers, they cannot learn their role in his life they never learn to see themselves as his daughter. So then they develop daddy issues, and any male that comes into their life is kind of in their mind they can't distinguish between whether he's their father or their lover, so they mix his roles, and that's not healthy either. Because then you're gonna have a revolving door of men that are circling in and out of this girl's life because she's not gonna be able to hold a healthy relationship because she does not know what one is. The same. That on the side of passing along generational poverty, and of course, where there are no fathers, the children are more vulnerable to a number of abuses. And you don't want to say, if people don't take my word for it, go examine the statistics, and you can see the rate at which single mothers' children are abused compared to children that are in the homes with their biological fathers.
Yes, and you don't even need to look at the statistics. Just look at this.
Uh-oh.
Wait, it's playing. I think it's.
There it is.
Where is the sound? I need the sound. I need all this. You know what? Matter of fact, it might be better without the sound.
I remember this. I remember this. I think we already know what this is without the sound. This is Miss. Where was she from?
God! It has sound.
Start to fall apart.
Yes, I hear.
Social service agencies got involved.
She's from
her
Tampa.
Fiance, Gary Brown Sr., the man who fathered 10 of her 15 children, was arrested, and Adam says she was left with nothing.
I don't have any clothes. People been donating food just around here,
right?
Helping me out with food, and I don't have anything.
We called the Department of Children and Families to see what they've been doing to help. DCF
she got a whole basketball team.
Incorporated has been
that's several basketball teams. That's the starting five 3 times.
Adam says it isn't enough.
Somebody needs to pay all my children and mine and Gary, all our suffering, all our accountable, and they need to pay.
What? Say what? What?
This is where personal accountability needs to come into play, because that is ridiculous. How do you have 15 children and then get on TV and tell somebody, well, somebody has to take care of all those kids? It's supposed to be you and their dad, but all those kids don't have the same father. I think one of her kids' daddies just got arrested. Where are the other dads? And why are you having this many children at all? But why are you having this many kids with that many people? Just because you can, personal life, I'm
it's a biological function,
right? But you know what? You have a daughter, right? Because I have
yes, ma'am.
My husband, I have 4 girls and 1 boy. When our oldest one was about 10, we started to have the puberty talk and things like that. One of the things that I started beating in her head even then is, just because you can does not mean that you should. Okay, that is a lesson that we need to start telling our kids. Just because you can does not mean that you should. That right there is ridiculous. This is what we went over last time when we started talking about the necessity and the importance of family planning and how Black people need to start teaching that to their kids. And that woman is a prime example of why. If we don't, we're running the risk of having more people that come up and continue to create situations like that. And it's not good for those kids, because she cannot support 15 of those kids by herself. I don't think the 2 of them together can support 15 kids. Like,
nah, that's a.
It takes, I think, $200,000 over a lifetime.
Yeah,
$200,000 over 18 years to raise one
but
child.
You know what it is? She trying to hit the lotto. You heard?
But she didn't hit the lottery in children. That's all she's hit it in.
She's the lottery in children. She trying to find LeBron James.
No, daggone well, LeBron James ain't. Goodness, LeBron got his 6 kids with his one wife, and look how his wife and children.
Oh, he only got 3. Don't do that, man, like that.
I thought they had more, maybe, but even if they did,
no. I think, you know what? I think Max. I think he said he had no. He got 3. I think it's 3.
Okay, well, but
6.
still, LeBron got his 3 with one woman. And that is the girl that he's been with since high school. Okay. Look at the difference between how LeBron, his wife, and their 3 are all around, and then compared to this woman's situation, and tell me that Savannah James didn't do herself and her kids and LeBron a favor by those 2 getting together, staying together, and getting married and having those kids. And I know that they did have one, I think, when they were still really young, but they were still together, you know.
High school.
Yeah. Sheesh. That lady.
LeBron. I only mentioned LeBron because today basketball restarts.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that. Aren't they? I heard they COVID tested a bunch of players and nobody was sick supposedly.
Yeah, so they're playing tonight. The Clippers and the Lakers tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I might watch it, depending. We'll see, but whatever. BLM sucks. Black lives don't matter. I said it. Get mad at me. But, folk, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about them black politicians. I got a lot to say about the Black Caucus.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. So we're going to go. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Bye-bye.